What's going on, guys? It's your boy Plex, the average biker, and today I'm going to do a moto vlog about the top 5 most underpaid professions. Let's do it. So, the top 5 most underpaid professions in the U.S. And this is all just my opinion, so this is the opinion of your average biker. Take it for what it's worth. Alright, so let's start with number 5. At number 5, and this one is no secret, it's been said a lot, stuff like that, it's going to be veterans. So I know a lot of y'all probably already know, but I was in the Marine Corps. I did one enlistment. And when I was a private or a PFC, I was making about as much as a burger flipper, which I can say that because I used to be a burger flipper before I was in the Marine Corps. But I just think that if you take the average stress level of a Marine or a soldier and compare that to the average stress level of somebody with a normal job, sitting behind a desk or putting boxes on a shelf, there's just no comparison. I mean, how many people with normal jobs wake up at 5 in the morning to PT, to exercise? You know, I mean, how many normal jobs have their boss show up to their house and check their room and make sure it's clean enough, put a white glove on, a white glove inspection, and run their hand across your dresser and see how much dust they can pull up? I mean, I'd say most people have never experienced anything like that in their lives, you know? So I think the veterans active duty specifically needs more money. I think the programs for veterans, like the post 9/11 GI Bill and all the other disability programs and stuff like that they got for veterans, those are all great. I'd say that those are all good, but specifically active duty, the people who are still showing up to work every day, whether that's overseas or here at home, they deserve to make more money. They're taking more risk. They're taking more risk in their lives, and they're beating their bodies up worse. So that's number 5. Number 4, and this might surprise some people, but it doesn't get talked about a lot, but social workers. So a lot of people don't realize just how important social workers are. If you've never been through a divorce or, you know, a custody battle or something like that, you might not understand just how key a social worker is to the lives of a child. I mean, could you imagine having to walk into somebody's house and meet the mom, meet the dad, and decide which one gets to take home the kid, or whether or not they get the visitation or custody or whatever have you? I mean, that's a lot to put on somebody's plate to make a life decision. And then if they end up not giving the child to neither one of the parents, then it's up to them to find them a foster home. And so now you need to make sure that that's a safe place, that's going to work. It's a lot of responsibility. I mean, a lot of responsibility. I mean, I think that you should be making more than 25-30 grand a year starting out, making some of those decisions that are going to affect the lives of a child, you know? So social workers, definitely. All the paperwork they got to push, that's nothing compared to the stress they got to deal with all the time. So social work is definitely a big one for me. And next up, coming in at number 3, we've got mechanics. Now, mechanics, not many people talk about mechanics need to make more money, and I'm talking about both motorcycle mechanics, airplane mechanics, every kind of mechanic you can think of, auto mechanics especially. I mean, I had a buddy start out changing oil, rotating tires at a place, at a shop, and shoot, he was only making like $9 an hour or something like that here in North Carolina. I mean, that's terrible. You know, you're getting your hands dirty. You get off work and your back hurts. You're busting your ass. You know, why you making the same thing as somebody who does not even half the work you do? And we rely so much on that industry. I mean, most of the people I meet don't even know how to change their own oil. I mean, kids these days, God forbid they had to do something themselves to their cars. I mean, that's not to say everybody. I'm sure some people's parents taught them the basics of how to jump a car, how to change a tire, but I'd say most people don't know that, and they just take for granted that they take their vehicle to a shop and it gets fixed. And then how many times do you hear the average person who doesn't know a darn thing about cars or motorcycles, they take it to the shop to get it fixed, they get it back, and it's not fixed, and they just throw a hissy fit. Oh, they screwed up my car. Oh, I should sue them. I should sue them. Man, and they have no idea what it's even like to work on a vehicle. You know, that mechanic probably did his diagnosis. He might have screwed it up, you know, but I guarantee you he probably busted his ass in the process. His job isn't fucking easy. Not to mention, when you get all pissed off that your car doesn't work, you come back and give him an attitude. So he's also dealing with the stress of all the fucking bullshit customers. So, I mean, mechanics, you getting paid close to minimum wage to change oil. You're getting paid close to minimum wage sometimes to change a tire, and they don't do your tires right on your car, and you could crash and die. I mean, I had a buddy, and he didn't put his lug nuts down tight enough. This is one of my buddies in the Marine Corps. He didn't tighten his lug nuts down enough, and he was driving his Jeep down the road, and his tire just went rolling away. Oh, man. Turned into a trike instantly. And a mechanic could do that to you, and you could crash, you could die, and you're putting your life in their hands, but you only want to pay them you know, next to minimum wage. I think that's bullshit. So I think mechanics should make more money. They work hard. I mean, my next door neighbor, he was a retired gunnery sergeant, and man, when he got out, he became a mechanic for a Honda dealership. This man has burn marks up and down his arms. He knows everything about cars, you know, but you can just see his body has taken a major beating. The man is an alcoholic now, I mean, I'd say, but he likes to drink in the mornings at least. That's a telltale sign. But yeah, I think mechanics should make more money based on the amount of work they do and how important the work they do is. And the work they do could be life and death if they screwed it up bad enough. So give them some incentive to work hard, give them some incentive to do the right thing, and to keep your vehicles running good. I mean, vehicles are an investment. Invest in the people who fix them. You know, people always complain the dealership costs so much money to take my car to. Well, you can do it yourself, or you can pay them the right money. It's usually the smaller shops that ain't paying people right. Usually just the maintenance shops. Usually the dealer, they pay their mechanics pretty well. And I'm not going to say that about Harley. I know Harley might charge you a lot for that bike, but from what I read and hear, their mechanics don't make all that much money compared to the amount of work they do. And you want to talk putting somebody's life in, putting your life in somebody's hands. I mean, somebody working on your motorcycle, that's, better trust them. I do a lot of my own work, but I also know my limits. So hey, mechanics need to make more money, hands down. So let's keep it moving on to number 2. Sorry about that, the video cut off. My memory card got full on the GoPro, so we're gonna finish the rest of this one here. So we stopped at number 3, which was mechanics, and now we're gonna move on to number 2, which is emergency services. So I know a lot of people got gripes with the police right now and everything like that, as well as myself. A lot of bad shit has happened, a lot of bad choices by police officers and stuff. And I think that you know, if you were to pay emergency services more money, you know, they'd be less likely to fool around and make mistakes. You know, if you pay police officers more money, they're gonna be more willing to do a good job because they don't want to lose that job. They don't want to lose the opportunity. And a lot of times in fields like police work and stuff like that, you know, you're not attracting the best candidates because the pay is low. So you're not going to be able to pull these prime candidates away from the jobs they're already at to become police officers. And so you're not getting the cream of the crop that are wearing that badge. And we've seen that with some of the shootings and bad decisions that have been made by police officers, and it's terrible, you know. So I think to stop that from happening, we need to start luring more educated, smart, sharp individuals into that field who can do a better job. And I think that would help everybody. But emergency services isn't just police, it's also firefighters and EMS. I definitely think that the medical services, you know, you call them when your life is in jeopardy. I mean, how are you only going to pay them $14, $15 an hour? I always think it's funny, like if a billionaire is having a heart attack, they call an ambulance, and here comes this guy making $14 an hour to save the life of somebody that's making, you know, $20 a second, you know, making ridiculous amounts of money. And really, that person should be paid more because your life is going to be in their hands. So emergency medical services, they go through a lot of stress, similar to what war veterans do. They see things that not your average people do. They see a lot of red pavement and death, and they get PTSD like that from a lot of those situations and stuff. So they should definitely make more money. So now, last but not least, first on our list is going to be teachers. Now, especially here in North and South Carolina, teachers have been known to get paid way less than they should, and they hold our future in their hands. They hold the future of this nation with these kids, the next generation. And it's sad when you look at the test score differences sometimes from like the inner city out to some of these other areas that score better, you know. And a lot of rich people send their kids to private schools. I would never send my kid to a private school, and the reason why is because, you know, private school is like a community of nothing but wealthy individuals, and that's not a good taste of the real world. You want to practice like you play. So if all you know how to be around is nothing but people like yourself, nothing but wealthy individuals, then you're going to hit the real world, and it's going to be like a culture shock to you, because you're going to have to deal with broke people, you know, people with medium income, and you're going to have to deal with thugs and bikers and whoever. You know, you're going to have to be able to deal with all these different types of people, and a teacher can prepare you for those things. Going to a school with a diverse population of all sorts of people, it's going to prepare you for those sort of things. If you can learn how to win in a public school, you can learn how to win in the real world. And that's key. But these teachers, if they made more money, they would also be more excited to do their jobs. They would have the funds to do more good things off of campus. You know, and I'm specifically talking about elementary school, middle school, and high school. College professors, they make pretty good money, if you ask me. I know all my professors do, so at least from the way things seem. But definitely, if teachers made more money, they'd have more money to contribute. And I mean, I even knew a teacher who taught Spanish, and whenever he wasn't at school, he was trying to teach ESL students who couldn't speak English, adults. So when you give somebody who is already contributing so much to our culture the opportunity to contribute more, that could never be a bad thing. So pay teachers more. Okay, thanks for watching. That was the top 5 most underpaid professions in the opinion of the average biker. It's your boy Plex, man. Y'all have a fucking good one.